Hey everybody, I am super excited to bring this interview with you with a rock star producer at the Tim Cole Insurance Agency. We have Shelly Luker here. Shelly was one of our prize winners for the March Madness 2023 umbrella promotion that we had. She was one of our winners. Shelly, you wrote 14 different customers on an umbrella last month, is that right?
Yes, you are correct. I sure did.
Whoa, that's a lot of different customers. How many total items and policies did you write last month?
I actually was a little under 90. I think I was 14 away from the Century Club, so
Uh,
I was almost there.
have you
Yes,
ever hit Century Club?
not yet, but that was pretty close. So it could be
Hey,
this month. That's what's up.
86 policies written in a month, 86 insurance items written in a month, 14 umbrellas. That is really good. Was that like your best month ever, or is it kind of on par with what you average?
I feel it was my best month ever. I've been pretty close, but the umbrellas wasn't as high. So I think overall it was pretty successful because I've been really focusing on the liability segment and protection. So it was great because a lot of them were auto, home, and umbrellas. It was just very nice
The
to, of course,
whole
the
package.
whole household. Yes.
Yes, the whole package. I love it. Well, let's do this. Let's rewind a little. Tell us when you got started in insurance, kind of talk about your path, talk about how Craig Wiggins coaching has maybe helped you along your journey. Just kind of walk us through all things Shelley.
Definitely. So I've been in the industry for 14 years, on the Cole Insurance Group team for 2 years. And I can recall when I first started, you know, it was definitely, they had approached me with the Craig Wiggins. That was something that I was going to do every morning. It was really new for me. And at first I was thinking, how can this, be possible? Because I've been in the industry before that 10 years but wasn't, coached that same way. And I just fell in love with it. I loved listening to you guys, how it was possible, the verbiage is used, and that's just kind of what direction I went with. And of course, I wasn't always the best at it. I kind of, had to work on it with the role plays at our office, our agency manager and owner. And then, of course, working with the clients directly, I was able to find my way and, of course, personalize it. And each time, I just find that I'm, just learning more and more with Craig Wiggins and putting it together, and it's becoming very successful.
Wow, I'm super impressed. Did you say 14 years? You've been doing insurance 14 years?
I have, but I will be honest though, this last 2 years is very powerful for me. I mean, I think it definitely, I do know it's because of the coach. I do know it's because, I've never looked at things the same way with my other office that I had. It's definitely important to really protect our clients. And once I realize on how I can verbalize it to them and, the direction that I've been given, I've been able to help many, many people. And I
Wow.
want to keep doing that every day.
So you went from probably selling with prior agencies, and I'm not knocking any prior agencies or companies. Were you primarily selling on price back in the day before you joined with the Coles team? Maybe you were sell a little bit higher coverages here and there, but it was probably price driven. I'm just guessing. Am I wrong?
I feel so. I feel so. We did have a segment, a large base of, retired customers. So a lot of them automatically had that, auto, home, and umbrella. But I can share with you, we never really discussed it. So
Hmm.
unfortunately, the segment of people that were coming from just 30/60, we would just continue the 30/60 or continue the
Hmm.
50/100. And we really weren't discussing, hey, did you realize, that's the limit of the policy? That's not necessarily going to protect you the right way. We never did that, and so when I came here and that was brought to light for me, I'm thinking, what have I done the last 10 years? I don't know. It's been a whole new world for me. And, the sky's the limit from here.
Now, many team members watching this, maybe even agency owners watching this, will have a hard time understanding this. If they've never been a part of Craig Wiggins coaching, they might have a hard time kind of understanding what our sales philosophy is. And I know I'm really putting you on the spot here. But what do you mean talking about liability and umbrellas? What's our sales philosophy? What's your sales philosophy and how you're now taking care of your customers, make sure they have the coverage they deserve?
Definitely. The philosophy is definitely taking care of the client, coverage wise, protecting their assets. Or the philosophy is about protecting them. It's not just about the price, because if it's just about the price, they might save 100 or $200, but they have an accident and now they just lost out on $300,000. So it's all about the coverage. It's just letting them know the options too. So many come to me and they could be 30 years old, 40, or in their 50s or even 60s, and they'll tell me they never heard about an umbrella. And every time that's like, shocking to me, but yet it's my opportunity to now teach them. And I can tell you just about every single time, those that did not know about it, that know about it, especially when they're the retirement segment age, they're thinking, I don't want my retirement gone. I don't want my savings gone, and then they are disappointed that they hadn't heard about it or nobody sat down with them about it. So that's definitely our direction. And it feels good too. It feels good.
It does feel good to help families.
Yep.
But what if their primary concern is saving a few dollars a month on their insurance, saving money, saving money? Do you find that it's hard to position coverage more important than price for some people?
For some people, it can be, of course, it's a challenge, right? You
Of
have to
course.
figure out, how can I now help them, because they're being honest about where they're coming from, but then I can help them see, okay, I understand, budgeting the cost of insurance per year, but that's when I'll start sharing, well, let's try to make this happen. You're coming from a $500 deductible. Well, let's shift that to 1,000, so it's easier to come out of pocket $500, extra, but it's not easy to come out, of course, 200,000, which I've learned all this from your platforms. And once they see you can balance it a little bit, or do, companies have discount programs, good driving discount programs. You're going to get this much back on your auto per year average. So we can make this happen. We can
I
make this
love
happen.
it. I love it. So, what we want to do is talk with our customers about the big dollars. So many team members will spend way more time talking about comprehensive, collision, deductibles, back and forth, and they'll spend 10 seconds talking about liability. And as you
Yep.
said, even for yourself back in the day, a lot of team members just match what somebody currently has, crosses our fingers in hopes that we're less. You're giving people maximum liability limits, umbrellas, dozens a month, literally 14 is more than a dozen, dozens of your customers. When we're giving them higher limits, even additional policies like an umbrella, we're probably going to be more frequently, right? We're probably going to be higher in price. Why are they buying? Why are they buying it from you?
Because they're being, they're protected. They start seeing, definitely that the coverage wasn't the same. We're not apples to apples. And once they start realizing that the carrier that they're with, they would just, let's say they had a $400,000 loss and the insurance company was only going to pay up to 100,000. When they realize, wow, after that, that would be back on me. I would be responsible for that. They start realizing that price, of course, isn't always the first thing to look at, because it is about protecting them. And I think relationship building, having the discussions, sometimes it takes a couple of discussions. Many times I have to speak with like the husband, because they call in, but then I have to speak with the spouse and maybe do a three-way call, or they'll all come in. But once we have the relationship building and the discussion, we have trust, and then they start realizing, that's what's important too.
Wow, I think you're an amazing example of what we're trying to do here at Craig Wiggins Coaching. Have we ever met? Have you ever come to a live event or a workshop? Have we ever met? This is the first time we're meeting.
This is the first time we're meeting, of course.
Okay.
Timothy Cole, I think our agency manager, they've flown out before to your events. I'm not yet. I'm not yet.
Well, I hope to see you in Vegas in September. We bring all of our Century Club Award winners up that are there in Vegas. Last year, we had, I don't know, 40, 50 team members from all across the country that were in Vegas at our event that had won a CWC Century Club Award. What Century Club? That's 100 plus items in a single month from one producer. I would love to meet you in person. I'm so proud of you. What I think is
Thank
really
you.
cool is we've never met, we've never talked, but you've been influenced by me, by Craig Wiggins, by others on our team, from our online training, the live training sessions on Wednesday. Can you just talk for a few minutes as a team member about the value that you find, and hopefully that you're grateful that Tim and Sharon are investing in you to be in CWC. Can you just kind of share your honest feedback and how it's helped you develop in your role?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very grateful because they have invested that. And this is the first time, these 2 years that I actually had an agent share this side of things to where they wanted, their team members to, of course, grow, because if I'm growing as a person. And of course, in business, I'm protecting people, they're growing and the agency's growing. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity because if it wasn't for Craig Wiggins and them presenting that, that was the first thing I did when I first started here, listening every single morning. And, my heart is here. I love getting back on and listening. I have, through my phone, I'll have my AirPods, I'm driving and I'm listening to you guys because sometimes if I have a day even where I'm a little down, then I'll listen to it and I'm picked back up and encouraged, what that next phone call, that I get, I'm again motivated back, because I'm not going to let a discouraging call, maybe the time before that, get me down down too long. So I'm going to be back on the platform. So it's changed my life. It's changed my life business wise here. It's changed my life just in general. So
Wow,
I'm very grateful.
that's awesome. I'm so proud of you, and I think that you have even more room to grow.
Yes.
What's your next goal? What are you trying to accomplish?
Of course, my goal is the Century Club. I don't want to give up on that. I want to continue doing the Century Club by doing the whole households and umbrellas. Sometimes, we think of Century Club and 100 items, and, I don't want to cut just by doing autos only or home only and cutting that liability. I want to do it by, my opinion, the right way. I want to have the whole household, the umbrellas, because then I can feel very good about I have 100 items, but I'm also protecting all of these clients the right way. That's my ultimate goal. And one thing I did want to share how I approach a lot of this, because there's different, rebuttals from insureds. But one thing I always let them know is that why umbrellas are important is because, it's going to protect the person or persons hurt physically, but it's going to protect them financially. And so presenting it that way, it brings caring. You want to do the right thing if someone's hurt, but you also want to protect your money. And these things I've learned along the way. And I think once I started learning how to verbalize it to people in such a way, they're able to understand it. So it doesn't feel like I'm just trying to sell them on something. I'm actually trying to help them.
Wow, I couldn't have said it any better. Y'all watching this, we literally just met. We talked for 2 minutes before I hit record. You are a perfect example of the type of team member that truly takes training seriously, is actually using it, pushing and challenging yourself to keep growing and keep getting better. I'm so honored to have you in CWC, and I'm so excited to see you win this cash prize from Craig Wiggins Coaching. That's pretty cool. I love that you're pushing and challenging yourself. You're holding yourself accountable. You're using the scripts and talk paths that we have, the live training, the on-demand platform, all of that. And I just can't thank you enough for giving me your time. Are there any
Thank
final
you.
words that you might have to share? There might be some team members watching this call thinking, gosh, I'd like to write 84 policies in a month, 14 umbrellas. I'd like to write all that kind of business. Any final thoughts that you might give to a team member out there? And any final thoughts that you might give to an agency owner that might be watching this, that it might be worth them investing in their team to check out CWC?
Of course, just understand that it's possible. I mean, this is truly possible. Again, when I first came into it and I'm listening and I'm thinking, how is this possible? Because I was coming from a different environment. But I started really believing in the platforms and the learning segments, and also knowing that I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. And of course, it's really important for the agency owners to have, the agents and managers and everything to continue the role plays, encouragement. It matters because when I really started truly believing in it, and I saw it come together. Last month was great. I mean, it was just great to help the households. Yes, for the items to build, and then it becomes so much fun too. Honestly, it's a lot of fun,
It
and
absolutely is. right? Writing all that business is fun. It's exciting. Do you get that like high, that kind of like feeling where your heart's kind of racing?
Yes,
You're like, whoa, I
every
just helped
time.
them every
Yes,
time.
all of it, every single time, and it makes you motivated to again that next call. They're going to hear it in your voice, and that it builds. But it is so possible. So even myself, like I said, if I have a discouraging day, I listen to the motivation on the platforms and the the ladies that I would constantly watch over that are continuing the Century Club. And so when I was so close last month, I'm almost there. And when I get there, I want to maintain there. And seeing them do it and I got so close, then it's right there at my fingertips, and I'm not going to give up. I'm not
I
going to give
love
up.
it.
I don't want nobody either. You keep going.
That's right. I say that all the time. Keep growing, right? Keep
There you go,
growing.
keep growing. Yes, it's
Yes.
very true. Very
If you
true.
just get a little bit better every day, you'll be
Yep.
unrecognizable months from now. And I hope that if you're watching this call out there and you're watching this little recording out there, and you're an agency owner, and your staff want training, they want to get better, they want the resources Top Pass to use to sell when our prices are higher. Nobody watching this call has the cheapest rates, right? Nobody watching this recording has the cheapest rates in town. So if we don't have the cheapest rates in town, and we're just trying to sell on price, we're going to really struggle. How about we start selling on our advice? And y'all,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, Shelly, your advice is worth the price. Your advice is worth the price. And our Top Pass and Sales Process and philosophy at Craig Wiggins Coaching can help your team member. If you're watching this, I'd love to get you on board with CWC. Check us out at craigwigginscoaching.com. Use my promo code JP Discount. Get a nice little savings on your first month. Check us out at craigwigginscoaching.com. Shelly, this went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be because you're so amazing, like seriously. But I need to get you back to work. You got policies to write, people to protect,
Yes.
things to do,
Yes.
right? Thank you. Thank you
Definitely.
so much.
Thank
And please
you.
tell Tim and Sharon how much I appreciate them. I've known them probably back since 2015 or so. They were one of our first members. Just a delightful couple. You're
They
blessed to be a
are.
part of their team, but you know
I
what? They're
am.
blessed to have you.
Oh, thank you. And
Yes,
yes, it's
ma'am.
a great place. I'm so glad direction of life takes you places, and I'm so glad I'm here. I absolutely am. So thank you too. It's so exciting. It was so exciting, watching you and your team and everybody for 2 years. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to like literally be talking to you. It's nice, so nice. So thank you for everything.
Pleasure was mine. But now, Shelly, you got to get back to work. Let's go.
Yes,
You got
I do.
policies to write. All right. I'll look forward to seeing you on
Have a
next
good
live training
weekend.
soon, and hopefully on stage with me someday as a CWC Century Club winner.
I would love that. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Bye.
Perfect. Dude, that was freaking perfect. Like, I couldn't have scripted that better. You're amazing. I'm just so proud of you.
First time nervous. I'm so nervous on this. I really was.
I'm so proud of you. I think you're an amazing example. But don't get comfortable. Don't get complacent, right? Keep growing. Keep pushing yourself. Keep challenging yourself. You're going to hit it. You're going to hit Century Club. And I think, like what you said, you'll do it consistently. I think you
Yes.
will. All
That's
right.
that's what I'm going for. So thank you for everything. You have a good one. Bye
Yes,
now.
you too. Get back to work. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.